Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the November 15th meeting of the Temple Terrace Community Redevelopment Agency. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes from the meeting of September 20th? If their minutes are acceptable, is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion second. Corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No nays. The minutes are adopted. Status report of current projects in the CRA. Community Development Director Mike Sherman is here to present. Welcome, Mr. Sherman.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, CRA board members. For the record, I'm Mike Sherman, our Community Redevelopment Director. So tonight, what I wanted to provide to you all is sort of an update on things that have been going on in our CRA since the September meeting. But before I get into that, I want to discuss turn it on. Some information that I'm sure y'all know, but for our citizens, think it's some good information. As the board knows, our CRA is approximately 225 acres, very compact. It was established in September of 1999. The base value at the time the CRA was created, and that's for the value of all the buildings and land in the CRA district, was almost $63 million. For the fiscal year 21-22, the TIF valuation was a little over $58 million above that. And then for this fiscal year, the valuation for our district is another $20 million or so above just last year, for a TIF valuation of $78,688,000, $688,370. And that's actually with a reduction in the millage, which the council adopted for this fiscal year. And what that shows us is there's a lot of growth in our downtown. We're moving incrementally towards the creation of the place for that downtown. And it's really a beautiful place. The value has increased a lot. The revenues that we receive are from three taxing authorities: the City of Temple Terrace, Hillsborough County, and the Tampa Port Authority. And these are the revenues we receive from our taxing authorities. Hillsborough County contributes approximately $419,000. The Tampa Port Authority contributes $6,842, and the largest contributor to our CRA revenue is the City of Temple Terrace, and they contribute almost $480,000. And that brings our revenue for this fiscal year at just under $1 million at $905,810. I wanted to talk about some milestones that we've had in our CRA since the last time we met. The Waverly Terrace apartments have the COs have been issued for that. The Enigma Plaza is under construction, and I'll get into this a little bit later, but we met with the property owner who've extended their permit for another 90 days. Salems Fresh Eats has their CO issued, but unfortunately we have a code violation case with them right now. New businesses that have opened in the fountains are Rocking Crab, Abbott's Custard, and the Hand and Stone business. Right now, we're working on some other projects in the downtown. Gaspar's parking lot extension, we're going through site plan review with that. Gaspar Storage is in plan review. It's a cold storage facility. Silvio Palms residential subdivision. As a board knows, there's 12 single-family homes under construction. We've issued 4 COs. And on November 2nd, we met with Kinley Horn to have a kickoff meeting for the pedestrian plan. So I wanted to give some values on the projects in our CRA district. And as you'll notice, I've got the permit value because some of these are not on the tax rolls yet for the improvements that have been constructed on that property. So the Chase Bank permit value was a little over $917,568. Hand and Stone is $534,650. Abbott Custard, their permit value is $235,232. AT&T permit value is about $800,000. Jersey Mike's $451,850. Starbucks $785,000, and the Rocking Crab permit value was $689,348. And the reason I wanted to put these up here is because it gives us an idea of what the assessed values may be in those areas when they come fully on the tax rolls next year. The Enigma Plaza, $700,000 permit value, and there is assessment for that property, but it's only the land, and that came out at $580,000. We gave them a 90-day permit extension, and the roof inspection passed October 21, and the roof is a separate permit that we issued, as opposed to the building permits that we've issued for that project. Salem's Fresh Eats, the assessed value is $391,896. Again, that's the land only. The permit value, which we calculated when we issued the permit, was just under $1 million. We've issued a notice of violation because our code allows 2 wall signs, and they put up a 3rd wall sign. We've also put a stop work order on that, and our code enforcement folks are addressing the notice of violation, and if it doesn't come down, it'll go to a hearing in the next month or so. These are the Waverly. I put some pictures of the Waverly luxury apartments as well. The permit value for each one of those buildings is listed, and so it's over $20 million in value, which is really a big influx of cash into our TIF fund next year. One project which we are going through site plan review is Gaspar's parking lot expansion. And as the board may know, there was a conditional use permit issued in 2019 to expand that parking lot into some of the residential areas behind there. We're really close on the site plan. There's really 3 outstanding issues which we're dealing with. One is parking lot landscaping, one is perimeter landscaping of the parking lot, and the other is lighting. But we're really close. The applicant works really well with this, so I imagine that's going to be approved really soon. And there's approximately, I think, 48 parking spaces which are going to be added to that project. We've got 12 homes under construction in the Silvio Palms subdivision. We've issued 4 COs, so we have 4 new families moved into those homes. As you can see, the permit value, they're all approximately $200,000, give or take. And they're all maybe 1,700 square feet or more. So they're nice size homes, and they're going to be a great addition to our CRA. These are some pictures of the homes right now. Really nice homes, really great families, so I'm very excited about that continuing forward. So on November 9th, I believe it was, we met with TECO about setting up some charging stations for electrical vehicles. And the 2 pictures on the left are the areas where we discussed with them about putting those charging stations. The top picture on the left, in that landscaped area, we were thinking that's one of the areas that they were talking about putting charging stations, or in that bulb out in the parking lot in the lower left picture is where the infrastructure may go for the charging stations. We're looking for, I believe it's 5 parking spaces with 1 handicap space to provide access to handicapped people who might have electrical vehicles. The picture on the right is, if you'll just look sort of straight down there, that's where the infrastructure needs to be to provide the electrical vehicle charging stations. Interesting. I think I have more pages than that. There we go. Okay, so we've met with some folks in the CRA since the last meeting. We met with Dunkin Donuts, and they want to redevelop that site on Bush because they would like, it's from what I understand, talking to the property owner and the owner of the Dunkin Donuts, it's the only Dunkin Donuts he has that does not have drive-through facilities. And as y'all know, since COVID happened, drive-through has become really popular. Although I walk in when I go see it because I like to talk to the people who work there. But so it was a really great meeting. They're going to be asking for some waivers from our city council when they come through site plan. But I think it's going to be a really great addition to that property. And the residents at Overlook site plan approval has expired. As you all know, those approvals are good for 6 months, and if they don't move forward with that, then they lose that approval, and so they'll have to come back to the city council if they want to reestablish that development. We met with Mr. Singh regarding the Enigma Plaza last week. His permits were about to run out because they've got to have an inspection, pass an inspection every 180 days. The 11th of this month, it would have expired, so we started talking to him and encouraging him to get that request in. The statute requires there needs to be a written request and a reason why they need an extension on that permit. We received that, I believe, on Monday morning. We gave him a couple extra days because of the Veterans Day holiday, as well as for the hurricane that came through. And we wanted to work with the guy. And so we received that. His issues were basically labor and supply shortages. And those were valid requests. So it was extended an additional 90 days. And so he's got to have a approved inspection, pass inspection by February 11th of 2023. And that's my update. I'm here to answer any questions that the board may have.
Council members? Councilmember Donahue.
For the public, would you give us the address of the EV station? Of the charging station?
I don't have that. I don't know that it has an address. I don't have that
That plaza,
information.
What is that little plaza there that we saw a photo of the plaza? It's on Temple Terrace Highway, right?
Councilmember, it's actually in the, lack of a better term, the Winn-Dixie Plaza.
Yes.
It's just the picture is a little misleading because
Yeah.
you couldn't see 56th Street, so it looks like it's right there, but it's actually in the Winn-Dixie Plaza.
It's in the Winn-Dixie Plaza?
Yes, ma'am.
The far Winn-Dixie?
The one in the CRA, that right next to Waverly
One that's in the
Terrace.
Sierra?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I misunderstood. Thank
It's
you.
immediately south of the 8901 parcel.
Okay.
Thank you. I haven't learned all the addresses yet.
Other questions, council members? I have a couple. Mr. Sherman, do you happen to know, I mean, I'm not looking for an exact number, but the Waverly Apartments, how they doing on occupancy? Are they full? Are they half?
So I was there walking around taking pictures, and I spoke with one of the managers there, and I asked that question, and she just smiled at me. She said, "That's not information we'd like to give out." So I was like, okay. So no, sir, I can't answer that question.
Okay. So just for future reference, in case this comes up again, what happens if a permit expires and they don't get an extension?
They have to apply for another permit, and they have to pay the permitting fees as well. And in this instance with Mr. Singh, that's a lot of money. And really, we just want that project to continue forward. I don't want his permits to expire. It took a number of times getting with him to get that email to us and letter, but he did provide that, and the extension was provided.
Okay. Other questions, council members?
I do have one on
Councilman.
that project.
Yes, sir.
Has he requested a change of his, I won't say site plan, but the interior footprint of the building? Is he still planning to build his one big space and then all the little small spaces?
He has not submitted plans for the interior yet.
Okay,
So we don't have construction plans to review. The permits he submitted, and they're going through the construction is the roof permit and the outside of the building and the facades. That's what he's working on right now. So he will have to submit another set of plans for the interior build out.
okay, so that has to be looked at, approved?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And permitted?
And permitted, yes, sir.
Okay. And how long can the building with the permitted roof and the outside stay vacant?
How,
Well, if he completes the permit on the roof and he completes the permit for the outside work, which he has, and it just sits empty inside, how long can it sit empty?
that's a great question. I'm not sure. I'll try and find that answer for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Sherman?
No, sir, I'm happy to be here. But other than that,
Well, very good. Thank you for your presentation. And unless there is other business, the CRA, we will stand adjourned.
thank you.